All right, we need to talk about a project that has just been taking the AI world by storm. It's called OpenClaw, and it went from being this niche little tool to an absolute viral sensation seemingly overnight. It's selling a future that, let's be honest, we've all been dreaming of. But it also comes with some really serious warnings. So today, we're going to cut through all that hype and figure out what the real story is. When I say it's taken the world by storm, I'm not kidding. The project racked up over 150,000 stars on GitHub in just a couple of months. Now, to put that in perspective, that is a level of excitement from developers that almost no project ever sees. It's a huge signal that OpenClaw is tapping into this deep frustration people have with what AI can do right now and what they desperately want it to do next.
So what is that next thing everyone's so excited about? Well, it really starts with this question right here. I mean, forget chatbots that you have to keep open in a browser tab. Just imagine an AI that's checking your email for you, managing your calendar, even responding to messages, all on its own, running silently in the background.
That is the incredible, seductive promise, right? The dream of a truly autonomous personal assistant. But as we've seen so many times, there can be a massive gap between the promise and the reality. So in this explainer, we're going to break down both sides of the coin, the brilliant, elegant ideas that make OpenClaw so powerful and the very, very real dangers that come along with it.
So what's the secret sauce? Why is OpenClaw so different? Well, its genius doesn't come from some brand new revolutionary AI model. Nope. Instead, it's built on two surprisingly simple but incredibly powerful ideas that completely change the game.
So the first big idea is what they call autonomous invocation. And this is the critical jump from a reactive tool to a proactive assistant. See, instead of just sitting there waiting for you to type a command, OpenClaw can be triggered by time. You could say, check my to-do list every morning at 8 a.m. Or by an event like, say, a new email lands in your inbox from your boss. It's the AI's ability to start working all by itself. And the second big idea is persistent state. Now, this solves one of the single biggest frustrations with AI chatbots. They forget everything the second you close the window. OpenClaw gives the agent an external memory, and it's really just simple text files on your computer. But this allows it to remember who you are, what it's learned from you, and what it was in the middle of working on, day after day. It has a memory. And when you put it side by side like this, the difference is just crystal clear. A typical chatbot, it waits for you, it forgets everything, and it's stuck in one window. But with just those two simple ideas, OpenClaw acts on its own, remembers everything, and works across all your apps. It literally transforms the AI from a tool that you use into an assistant that works for you. A system researcher put it perfectly with this quote. Think about it. An AI's normal, limited context window is like a computer's RAM. It's super fast, but it's small and temporary. OpenClaw's persistent memory on your hard drive, that's like virtual memory, a huge permanent place for knowledge that it can pull from whenever it needs it. This gives the agent a true long-term memory. It's a game changer. So you take these two concepts and you put them together, and it all builds towards this ultimate dream for so many people. An AI that isn't just powerful, but one you completely own and control, running right there on your own machine. And the reasons for wanting this are so powerful. First, you get complete privacy. Your personal data, your emails, your messages, none of it ever gets sent to some company's server. You also get to stop paying those API costs that can add up so fast. You get total control to tweak it and customize it exactly how you want. And hey, once the models are downloaded, it can even work when you're offline. Now, this whole dream of a private, self-hosted AI is really powered by these incredible tools like Ollama. Ollama makes it surprisingly easy to download and run these super advanced language models right on your own computer. It basically turns your machine into your own personal AI server. It's the engine that makes the whole OpenClaw assistant come to life locally. Okay. But this is where the dream crashes right into a much, much harsher reality. Because for all the excitement, getting this thing up and running on your own, well, for a lot of people, it's a deeply frustrating experience. This is not a simple click and install kind of app, not even close. First off, there's the hardware. I mean, sure, you can technically run it on a basic machine using just your CPU, but it is painfully slow. To get anything close to decent performance, you really need a powerful GPU with a lot of VRAM. And get this,
Some users running the really capable local models say they need a staggering 48 gigabytes of VRAM. That immediately puts it out of reach for most normal computers. And then you've got the installation process itself. You'll see this everywhere, this simple one-line command. It looks so easy, right? Just copy it, paste it in your terminal, and you're off to the races. But this is where the real nightmare begins. This quote from a user on Reddit who was just trying to write a setup guide, it says everything. That simple one-liner hides a mountain of complexity, a ton of frustration, and just so many things that can and absolutely do go wrong.
So what is all this hidden jank? Well, you're suddenly dealing with complex server stuff, digging through raw JSON files just to try and get your model working. And you have to disable tons of the default skills because they're just too much for a local model to handle. The whole system has to restart after every single little change, and just finding a model that actually works well is this painful process of trial and error. It's a mess.
But look, frustrating software is one thing. Now we get to the most critical part of this whole story, the peril. Because while you're wrestling with config files, a far more dangerous issue was just lurking under the surface, a massive security vulnerability.
And it was a really bad one, a remote code execution vulnerability, tracked as CVE 2026-25253. Now, in simple terms, this means an attacker could take complete control of your OpenClaw assistant, and by extension your entire computer, with just a single click from you.
Here's how it worked. It's terrifyingly simple. First, the bait. You click on one specially crafted, malicious link. That's it. That one click was all it took to exploit a flaw and steal your secret authentication token. And with that token, the attacker could connect to your assistant and just completely take it over, giving them the power to run any command they wanted on your machine. And this quote right here gets to the heart of why this is so terrifying. An AI assistant like this has access to everything, all your files, your passwords, your online accounts. Hacking it isn't like hacking a normal program. As one analyst put it, it's like giving an attacker your entire digital identity. For all intents and purposes, they are you. So after all of that, what's the big takeaway here? Well, the story of OpenClaw really shows us that the road to the future of AI is going to be incredibly exciting, for sure, but also incredibly messy and filled with some serious risks. It really just boils down to this. On one side, you have this incredible promise, a truly personal, always-on AI, built on a beautifully simple idea that gives you total privacy and control. But on the other side, you have the peril, a potential security nightmare that's a huge pain to set up and requires some serious hardware and expertise. It's the future, but it's also a highly experimental and pretty risky platform right now. Which, of course, leaves us with this final question. Is OpenClaw a glimpse of the future of personal computing? A massive step towards AI agents that actually help us? Or is it a cautionary tale about the dangers of moving way too fast and the serious risks we face when we hand over the keys to our entire digital lives? Right now, it really feels like it's both.